Today, I'll share with you several signs that will help you identify a toxic man in just a few minutes. Meeting a man, going on a first date, it's always so exciting and enchanting. But is everything as magical as it seems at first glance? How do you uncover the deceitful person hiding behind a charming facade? A new acquaintance with a young man always brings vibrant impressions into a woman's life. It can be difficult to immediately understand what kind of man is truly in front of you. You might encounter a very unpleasant man with devious plans. It's essential to learn how to recognize such men to avoid becoming a victim of an energy vampire, a cheater, or a tyrant. It's best to stay away from them and not put yourself at risk. So now, I'll tell you about several signs that will help you easily spot a toxic man in just a few minutes. First, he talks loudly. Typically, deceitful men, who are capable of deceiving women, speak very loudly. Of course, this is not the main sign, but it's best to pay close attention to his speech. Manipulative men tend to speak relatively louder than others, especially noticeable in a company or a crowded place. Such a person stands out immediately, and it's impossible not to notice him. He seems to laugh louder than everyone else, practically shouts his opinions, talks incessantly, sometimes not letting you get a word in, and rarely asks his companion any questions. And if he does, he quickly interrupts her to share stories about himself. Second, he quickly moves in for close contact. Toxic men quickly move in for closeness. They don't need a special invitation to invade your personal space. They overstep boundaries from the very first minutes of acquaintance, throwing you off balance. Even the most sociable women can find such assertiveness intimidating. Toxic men can easily embrace a lady even if they've just met. Third, lack of sincerity. Though he behaves as if you've known each other forever, hugging you and showering you with compliments, such a man is simply incapable of sincerity. If you pay closer attention, you can easily spot the lies in his words and actions, or rather, his pretense. Such a person often uses an excessive amount of pleasant words, trying to charm a woman, literally bombarding her with compliments. Or, for example, notice his strange facial expressions that stand out. Insincere men often have furrowed brows or raised eyebrows. All these signs clearly indicate the falseness that your companion is trying so hard to conceal. Fourth, he avoids eye contact. Another sign, which also relates to a man's insincerity, is the lack of eye contact. No matter how well he plans to win a woman's trust, such a man can easily be unmasked because he often looks anywhere but into his companion's eyes. Even when he tries to establish eye contact, he quickly looks away, often without even realizing it. Experienced manipulators sometimes control this sign, trying not to give themselves away, and instead, they may stare into the woman's eyes to divert suspicion. But if you observe more closely, you'll easily see through this trickster, preventing him from fooling you. Fifth, ambiguous phrases. Deceitful men often try to confuse and unsettle their companion with ambiguous words and contradictory phrases. Typically, they wait for the right moment to say such things, putting the woman in an awkward position. Often, they pause, wait, and then strike. Sometimes, this tactic seems strange to women but also provocative and seductive. However, don't be fooled by such compliments because such a man only seeks to gain a woman's trust to manipulate her easily. Sixth, strange gestures and speech. Without delving into psychology, it can be challenging to correctly interpret a conversation partner's gestures and match them with their speech. But in the case of a manipulative man, it's a bit easier because his speech often completely contradicts his gestures. A toxic man might unknowingly reveal himself through his reactions, speech, and gestures that don't align. His hands, for example, might show strong dislike and irritation while his mouth utters compliments to his companion, and a sweet smile plays on his face. Such behavior indicates deceit and pretense, which you can easily recognize if you look closely. As you can see, you can identify a toxic man from the very first minutes of conversation. During your first encounter, try to observe your new acquaintance, his facial expressions, words, and behavior. If you're indeed facing a deceitful man, he will certainly show it because now you know the typical signs of such behavior. No matter what, we wish for only good and sincere men to cross your path. Be happy. Leave the word I love air in the comments below as your first step towards happiness and harmony in your personal life. If you encounter any barriers you can't overcome alone, feel free to reach out to me directly. My contact details are in the video description and on the main page. Together, we can make your journey to love a beautiful one.